Afternoon, everyone. Oh, we're on time on the dot. Hi there. Hi. I hope my microphone is here. Yes, it is. You can hear me. Wonderful, wonderful. So, good afternoon to all of my family globally, Europe, America, Africa, London, Paris, bonsoir. Um, yes. So, welcome to Le Frere. This afternoon, we are not going into so much the broker mind as we have done last week. We are going into the direction of ways in which you can see it in order to help you fire it completely. Let's make sure and start putting ourselves on a higher level, that we are no longer shaming ourselves, blaming ourselves, um, and believing what our broker mind is telling us from the outside world, and also from that of what we have already known and understood for so many years that you exist, that was unconsciously given to you and shown to you by your family, friends, etc. So that's where we're at today. I have my laptop here in front of me, just to go over some of these examples. And I want to start with one of them in particular, where someone was asking me, hi, good afternoon, Alex, good afternoon, good afternoon, where I had to make a post about this one. Someone was made a nice, beautiful gesture comment pertaining to when you have come into the position where you have seen your, and I do not like to use negative, but I know that's what you know, those thoughts, those words, those behaviors that you notice within self, that is something that you realize is not nice and that's not what you like. But also you notice from certain people who show up in your life in that aspect. This person made a great sentence, gesture for me to be able to attach to it. You have to put people, or put that person as a child, so that you can ignore them, or find your space, yourself. Hi, hello. And honestly and truly, that is not true. We know that if you want to go up on a stage and talk to people and stuff like that, you will picture whatever you can in order to help with your inner fear. But when it comes to having someone outside of you that is already part of the broker mind within you, that is, feeding you fear, lack, insecurities, etc., etc., you do not want to picture them as anything, because you don't want to have them in your real estate of energy, essence of self. And I know many people do not understand or like the concept of when someone says forgive people, and I truly am that one person who says this. But it's not saying that forgive them as in forget what they did to you. You have to also understand. Oh, slowly. Thank you so much. Thank you. Speak slowly. M. Ram Kishan. I don't speak any other language more than English, so I apologize if you don't speak English, because your name sounds Indian. But anyways, I'm going to speak slower. We are not to hold any human being that has done you wrong, that you already know that is a part of the negative broker side in your head that keeps feeding you fears, lacks, insecurities, to be able to move in your life, to be able to be in your life, to picture them, to picture them as something that you can endure. That costs a lot of energy to have that principle, that mindset, that day-to-day life movement. Forgiving, or in my case, what I say, you totally get rid of the person. If you already know that they are feeding towards the broker mindset within you that is holding you back, making you think you are not good enough, can't execute or go after your visions, your dreams, etc., you do not need to have them in your life. And this is something many of you have heard multiple times now that you're coming into social medias window, where so many people have been expressing their perspectives and how they are, and I'm definitely one of those persons. I do not care if it's my own family member, if they are the ones that has been adding to my broker mind, that's trying to make me believe that I can't, I am not good enough, etc., etc. Honestly, guys, I've already shared this before. I have eliminated a few family members from my life simply because I have already seen the just of what we are as human beings and as a race of people, of control, love, community, you know what I mean? All of that. And I know that those who put you in fear, those who put you in that position to make you think that in order to fit in, to be accepted, to be loved, etc., you have to sell yourself short, you have to follow their rules, you have to fit in boxes, and that is not true. That is all manipulation, that is all control. And again, a lot of the times we are already doing this to ourselves too, because we have been fed this for decades. And this is not something that you're just learning. This is something embedded in our DNA as human beings. No matter you're Caribbean, you're French, from Paris, or from Senegalese, you're Antarctica, whatever. This is embedded in us as beings, because we always gonna have something higher, a governing party that is going to help, how should I say it, help keep things from escalating in negative ways and bad ways, you know, that sort of stuff. So in order to have that, we are going to have to ask them to, you know, make decisions for us, trust in the movements and the actions. It's how they're going to go about it. But at the same time, it's still control, and it's still fear that they place into you in order to say, okay, you've put me in charge to govern and say what is right from wrong, and etc., etc. But at the same time, I still get to say this is how we need to show up and how we need to do certain things. So there is where a lot of our issues are. And it is something that, yes, is kind of necessary, because not two equal persons are, hi, going to think the same, want the same. Regardless if a parent has 5 kids, and she raised all, or both parents raised every single kid with the same mindset, the same love, the same care, etc., there will still always be one or two that is going to be different. Some very extreme difference in the fact that someone is more rebellious, someone wants to have their own way, someone does not. Sorry, I just read something there and it just kind of threw me off. The person asked, what is your problem? Hope all is well. I don't know who you are. I don't know what you're listening to, because you need to read my description of what I'm talking about. So anyways, each human being has their own identity of self, and that is the thing we need to understand. We have to try to do our best to see ourselves, and that is where, hi, good afternoon, good afternoon. see that and understand that. So you can't always be wanting, and that's the thing, they want to control you, but at the same time you just want to be accepted and seen and loved. But it's not easy to do that. A Q&A question. I don't know what to ask at this moment. Um, so again, my Malaysia, hello, hi, hello. Yes, so my topic today is about the broker mind in self. That is that, again, I don't really enjoy the word negativity so much, but we know it as that part of us that holds us back from showing up, seeing self, loving self, accepting self, feeding us these voices of fear, lack, insecurities. And again, this is given to us, it is actually best word I could say, from our environment. Unconsciously we have been training, absorbing this from our parents, environment, society, and governing over our region and the rest of the world. So it's not something that you deliberately wanted, but at the same time it is something you can choose to ex- execute from your life, from yourself, because it is just simple fear from the outside world. When you're not in a bubble of what is supposed to be done, what is supposed to be, then you're an outsider. But at the same time, many of us feel as though if we are an outsider, then we won't be loved. Love starts from yourself. Acceptance, and this is a thing that many have to understand. Acceptance starts from you accepting yourself, not from someone else. Not from someone else. The only time someone else accepts you for you is when you are fully acceptant of self and show up as that. And that is something what the broken mind is keeping you from. It's keeping you from showing up for yourself, taking that hobby, going for that dream job, quitting that job that you have that is suffocating you, stifling you. Now, I'm not saying just get up and go quit your job. I'm saying this is something you've talked about. It is eating at you, but because you have to pay bills, because you got to keep a roof over your shoulder, your head, sorry, you haven't taken a plunge. Guys, I apologize. I'm in Trinidad and Tobago, living with my mom at the moment. And sometimes this has happened. I'm not sure if it's to do with the airplane or internet. I just had my whole the live just disconnected. So I'm back again. Yes, I'm back again. Hello. Um, I hope you all are wonderful today. Thank you so much for being here. I do these lives on YouTube every Friday. I do lives on Wednesday on TikTok, and Fridays on Facebook, and then again on TikTok. So yeah, I do a lot. So yes, I was saying that the broker mind is the part that limits you, holds you back, keeps you captive, keeps you in fear of believing, trusting, and showing up as your authentic self. And many of us want to make more money, wants to be happy, etc. But understand that the way someone else is doing it may not be your exact path, first. Secondly, your higher self is already, which is your intuition, has already been signaling to you what are some things that you can do to help you find self, find your dreams, love yourself. But again, because maybe your family members, or it's not your culture or whatever, has never done that, you are afraid to step out and be that, be yourself. So that's what I talk about when I talk about boundaries, loving yourself, the mind broker. Everything and anything is capable of rewriting, building anew, building that version of yourself. You just have to become that observer first to see what it is holding you back, what is or whom. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. That's okay. Thank you so much for showing up. Again, yes, I know my timing. I'm still struggling to figure this out because I'm in the Caribbean. So earlier, maybe we'll see. I just need to figure out a flow for this. But thank you for joining the live. Thank you. Thank you. Have a good night. Um, so yes, any one of us can have love, can have wealth, can be happy, can have peace. But in order to do so, you must first see what is calling in your life to eliminate, rewrite, and shift so that you can have that. So you have to be the observer to see it. And again, why I am using the word broker for the negative thoughts and stuff like that. Many of us believe that only one side of us is what we're supposed to focus on. That is not true. We're supposed to focus on all sides. Your triggers, your the things that make you angry, your addictions. Why I say all of these are important, because anyone is capable of finding a an emotion within you to use against you and manipulate you. And when you have control and know and understand all of yourself, even the bad parts about you that you would like to rewrite, or parts about you that someone else says it isn't, that is bad, but you know it's a protection, then you have no one to come in and start triggering you. You have no one to put them in no figure of anything to be able to move around, be yourself. Am I making sense? I hope I am. So, and it's choosing. The second thing is choosing. Am I going to choose me? Am I going to choose that I see this or I want this? I'm going to show up. I'm going to consciously make those decisions to my vision. Let's say I want to be a better artist. I don't know. You want to become better in graphic design. You're already doing it. You love it so much. And again, that's where that's where you should be looking at as a job opportunity to make money. Because when you're putting in that love into something that is feeding love, the serotonin in you, you want to show up, you want to do it often, you want to have it in your life 24/7. Let's just say, again, serotonin is the happy hormones. You get it from working out, and the other one, but also you get it from hobbies, having a good conversation with some friends where you're laughing, you're enjoying the company of someone or some group of people. That is serotonin. The fact that you feel happy when you're doing something, talking, laughing, interacting, whatever, and you want to do it more often. That's what that brings you. So say you want to do graphic designs and you're already doing it, and you already realize that you enjoy it. That is a window into making money. Now I know I can say that now One second. So I like to pause because I live not too far from the airport in Trinidad and Tobago, and I don't want to be having to raise my voice too much. Um, and so I can say graphic designs because right now we're in the age of social media and internet, and this is not going to go away. So if you're already someone that you haven't gone to school, but it just comes natural to you and you're already doing it, or you want to do go to school and or take a course more into it, this is something that again you have to look at in that aspect of, okay, I'm doing this for fun, but probably it's not the right topic for me to pick. you know oh, or your family members want you, your mom, your father, whatever, paying for you to go to school to be a doctor because that is something that makes money, that is something that is needed forever, and this isn't. But you enjoy this so much, and I reasons I bring up certain things like this too because I'm so happy again social media is out where people are able to hear the voices of those who actually had great professions and pivoted into something else. I lived in Los Angeles, California for a long while. I moved there actually and grew up there. And I remember every time I would come home to visit, everyone would ask, have I seen celebrities? And actually, too, I have to add, I'm a model as well. So I was in that industry. And they would always ask me all these questions, are they this, are they that, based on what they've seen on TV. And I'm so happy that we have now that opportunity for a lot of myths and bubbles to be burst for people to actually see the truth of, and again, hierarchies that have control and try to use it in ways to help them, but manipulate and use people who want to better their lives. And again, I'm not just going to say this is for just for the Hollywood scenes. Yes, it happens in so many industries, environments, you know government as well, that they take advantage of someone who wants to better their life. So that is another plane. And so yes, um we that is how we are to see what is outside of ourselves and how to move forward. Yes, that's an airplane. That's an airplane. I live really close to the airport, and so sometimes it is very, very loud, and I don't want to be screaming. What? So I'm just gonna write something here. All right. Okay, so I put something here. Let me see if I can move it. There we go. Nice. I'm getting better at this. So thank you, Alex. Yeah, that was a plane. Yes, yes, Alex. The airport. Can you hear me? Yeah, the airport is not too far from the area that I live in Trinidad. So I'm happy I hear the planes. I won't lie, I'm really happy I hear the planes. But yes, and I try not to speak when they're passing by because I want to preserve my throat as best as possible. Thank you so much for letting me know you hear me. And so that's the broker mind. I asked a question here. What are you rewriting from your broker mind? I didn't want to put the whole thing because, so I'm going to give you guys a minute. All right. Let's let me move that now, right? Ooh. Okay, now it won't go in the trash. There we go. That was another one. We've got a lot going on today, I guess. What is going on? Yes, again a plane. Yes, unfortunately. Or fortunate. Again, I do enjoy hearing it. And I only do my lives outside here simply because these houses that my mom is in and in this area, they're too hot. I can't do it. Even if I put the air conditioner on, somehow it just doesn't feel right. I love outdoor, I love nature, and so I've chosen to do my lives here as much as possible. But yes, I have to then, you know, do the airplane situation. Um, so kids. So what I wanted to add to with the broker mind, sometimes we have to also think of the fact that we're not just wanting to do things to make money. Guys, when you have more serotonin of you showing up for yourself, you loving yourself, you taking risks and actions in your life, you're showing up so much alive, different, confident. Yes, all people love nature. Yeah. Confident within yourself. And this is what allows you to have self-worth, value, to be respected. And again, what I'm going to say, what many of you may not understand, but respect is not coming from other people, regardless to if you say the things that you need to say, show up for yourself, etc. It is about you having the respect for yourself and understanding that those who do not accept it, respect it, or whatever, that is not your job to make them, try to convince them. You're simply to just exit them from your table, your environment, etc. You're only to show up for yourself. You're only to love yourself. You're only to be you, and allow those who have an issue, who don't accept it, whatever, to be themselves. But also understand that regardless to family, work environment, etc., you don't have to be around them. You don't have to always position yourself in their presence, if you understand what I mean. Showing up for yourself will create chaos outside of you, simply because you're now choosing, firstly. Secondly, you're actually taking energetic shifts and conscious actions and movements to see and be you, loving yourself, being that person that you want in your life. That is the key understanding. We want, yes, we want happiness, we want peace, we want love, we want wealth. But again, these things are not going to come to you if you don't believe it in yourself, if you don't choose to see the things that you might have to let go of, rewrite, heal, and then also take actions in certain ways. And again, when you take risk with self, you do things that is not to, you know, get an outside validation, etc. You're learning yourself. You're choosing to always want yourself, know yourself, be self. And this is it is a hard thing, again, for many of us to comprehend and do, because we live in a world where, yes, trends, um, everyone is doing this, you know what I mean? You want to be part of the crowd. But if you can understand being by yourself, doing yourself in the ways that is giving you value, love, peace, you will have the aligned people and environment that will match to you. It might take time, because why? Time is that understanding that you, as consciously knowing self, paying attention to the energies, the triggers within self, and that is coming outside, to consciously say to self, what am I wanting? What am I accepting and not? That's what that is. And again, those things also come to with the broken mind, because the broken mind, again, it can creep up on you at any moment. And those also too, the broken mind, even though you've already started moving forward, showing up for self, rewriting certain things, being conscious and aware of certain habits, triggers, and etc., and you're making that effort to step out of that, there will be moments that it will come back up. And this is not something for you to be angry at. It's just coming back up for you to be aware that you are already outside of that. But here's a position where you would have acted that way, the old you. So it's coming back up to see, are you paying attention, and are you still choosing to leave the old you behind and move forward? Yeah. And eliminate wearing a mask, or trying to wear a mask to fit in and be seen by the rest of the world. So yeah, that's the some of the examples I wanted to share with you all. Taking a risk with yourself and your life is really truly a blessing. It's a gift. It's not a gift to me, it's not a gift to your friends, your family, it's a gift to you, because you're actually going to see yourself in many ways. What have you been condoling? What have you been accepting? What have you been allowing your fear to make you think that you're not happy, you're not loved, or that you're not capable of having that vision that is sitting within you? Do you know what I mean? And not think that you have to wear a mask to hide who you am, to be in your life and in your environment. And lastly, do not hold anything and anyone as in your real estate who has done you wrong, or is someone that adds to your broken negativity, fear, lack within yourself, simply because you have to condole them because they're family, friend, etc. You can ignore someone without having to wear some kind of a mask to be. I think that's the worst thing that you can do for yourself, when you think you have to wear a mask just to be in an environment. Yeah, today is a lot of yeah. Thank you so much for listening and being here. But yes, you're right. It's a lot going on today. Again, it's June. Soon school's going to be closing for summer. So I don't know. Hi, hello, hello, hello. Thank you for being here. So that's the broker mind. I am simply one of those individuals that every one of us has the ability to love themselves, to heal the your nervous system, to be aware of your nervous system, and your nervous system is also intact with your broken mind, because fear, lack, insecurities that is fed from outside, also from self, is attributing to your nervous system, that is making you feel as though you're not pretty, you're not handsome, you're not skilled enough, etc., etc., and just keeping you back. So it is quite interesting that, again, we are the key holder to our positivity, our strength, our peace, our wealth, our love, our radiance, our everything. We are the key holder to it all. But you have to become an observer of self. You have to become now focused, and also try not to let the outside world always come in. Those moments when you are already at work with yourself, you're showing up for self, you're loving self, those distractions. Every single one of us have already wealth within us, because we have already been gifted our own creative tools, talents within ourselves. Whether it's someone that's a good speaker, whether it's someone that's a good listener, whether it's someone that is really good with their hands, whether it's digital, painting, writing, baking, cooking, the list goes on. Every single one of us has some creative gold within us that can aid in our peace, our joy, our love with and of self, and our abundance, our financial wealth. Again, we've just been the society that we came into, structure things in a way to both help us, but at the same time hold us back in certain ways. And it's just your duty as an individual to keep listening to your gut instincts, which is your higher self aligning you. Make that decision. Go do this. But again, sometimes your broken mind is telling you, oh, I can't do that. I don't know how to do that. When realistically, you probably can. You just haven't really done it, or you haven't put much effort in it. Or I can't move here. Oh no, I want to do that, but I need some more time. I need to make some more money, whatever. Or I want to go on vacation in this place. My friend and I, or my sister and I, whatever, but we need some more money, we need to organize, we need to plan it properly. And you guys put things off because of all these thoughts that you have to make more money, we need more time, X, Y, and Z, or I can't do this alone, I need to go with someone. Yes, 1 second. And you don't show up, or you put it off. Again, one of the things I add in I've said this many times, when I started college in America, I wanted to be, my child dream was to be a surgeon. But I also was writing when I was young, drawing architectural buildings when I was young. And my mom had me modeling and dancing when I was young. So this is not something new to me. And so when I started college, I had psychology classes plus certain medical and also dance classes because I know what makes me happy. I can't be doing certain studies, like really heavy stuff and not have something to alleviate that and have joy within me. And so my first class, I think, was a psychology class. The professor, and it seems as though he does this all the time. This was like his speech. Before we started the class, everyone was sitting, and he's like, he introduced himself, and he said, "Hi, so I know every one of you have your destination, your goal to why you're taking this class and other classes here in Santa Monica College in Los Angeles, California. But also remember that you have to live life. But not to the point where you're not studying and showing up, but an equal. Still go out, still party, still spend time with friends and etc. Not to just invest all of your energy into school, studying, and moving forward." And then he went on to add, as so to say, why he gives this speech every single class. His daughter was a very excellent student, and apparently she didn't go out much. I think that's what he said. This is so long ago, guys. But it stuck with me. And unfortunately, she got into a car accident. Not a specific car accident as she was driving. She was walking, and the car, something happened, and she got hit by the car and died. And she was one of those students. She just worked, she just did her schooling, she was, driven for her goals or dreams, etc. And she died. And so I guess this stuck with this teacher that, he lived his life as well. He probably also partied when he had that opportunity. And then here's his daughter, she wants a dream, she's going after it so hard that she barely went out or didn't. And then her life was just ended early on. So he gives this speech to let us know, which is the truth. And it was interesting that he for me, because I already knew this, again, because of the person that I am, I know we're not to just be focused on one thing alone and ignore. It's like taking a piece of yourself away from the rest of the equation of who you truly are. You've got to enjoy life. You've got to try things. You've got to explore. And then when you do have a vision of what you want, etc., you have to then show up and make some execution of movement actions. And again, not all the time, not stressy, but trust. When you are to show up, you give it your all when you can. When you're not, you do your best. And I'm that prime example. I've been on this journey for wanting my own business for a very long time. A very long time. And this year I started it again in a different way, different approach, etc. But my health is also something that I'm working on. I have health stuff that I am tackling. But I know what I want still with enjoying my life, myself, and also my business. And so I've created a window in which I show up on social media, but at the same time, and for my business, but at the same time, one of the things with me is when it comes to my health and I have that feeling that I'm not to do anything but just rest, I'm doing it. When I have that feeling that, okay, tomorrow or next week, I can put more effort into filming, doing some more stuff, I do it. So I don't beat myself up when I'm not able to or can't. I trust that I do want it. I've already shifted into that. I am that. as in I am Le Frère. I am a successful business owner with digital products, with coaching, with my own fashion brand, etc., etc. I already know that is who I am. And so I'm just showing up when and where I can, trusting my intuition, trusting those moments, those days when my health is at its best, that I can sit here and talk and film and whatever, or those moments where I'm just enjoy myself, get dressed, dance for myself. If the universe sends my cousin, say, hey, she wants to go to the beach, and everything aligns, I'm like, cool, I'm going. It wasn't planned, it was a spur of the moment, and I just said, okay, cool, I trust my intuition, because it says, hey, let's do it. We have everything organized, all your videos are scheduled, let's do it. Perfect. Yes, so I'm a dancer. Yeah, I am multi faceted. I do a lot of things, and I love to try new things. I like to teach myself things. I teach myself a lot. And that is why I can speak on taking risks with yourself. I've traveled the world by myself. My mom and my travel agent were the only two people, well, I mean, before I would go to the places, would always have an issue. Why would you go these places by yourself? You're a woman, etc., etc., etc. And then when I go to these places too, the people are like, you by yourself? Which I try not to let people know that, because again, I am a woman. But certain people, let's say the front desk, etc., in the hotels and stuff like that, you can let them know. But that, you do that in a way, especially for me, I do it in a way that if I were to go somewhere that they've given me advice on, and I'm not back at a specific time, they are aware that, hey, she's alone on this vacation by herself. We suggested to her to go to this place where normally nothing would happen, but she's not back. Let's keep an eye out on her, make sure that she's back here. Or we put an APB out, letting that community know, or the police know, that this young lady went here on our recommendations. Usually nothing happens. We told her to stick with specific areas, and she's not back. That is me, because I listen to my intuition, I listen to my common sense, and I am not going to hold myself back from traveling, doing anything, because I have no one. Also too, sometimes may not have the right amount of funds, but my intuition will say, hey, here's a deal, just go. And I go. And one of the other things I've added to why I say I do love myself, and I trust the magic that's within me, because it attracts more magic. I have had opportunities, guys, where I may not have enough money. I may have had a seat in the opera that's low budgeted, and got bumped up because there was something going on that specific day, and those seats are no longer available, and I get an even better seat in the God, the name is right on the tip of my tongue. In the ledge. I mean, I've had experiences where I've gone to outside live concerts or vacation, and gotten and a bump up in a room, an amazing room that is more money, and I didn't have to meet amazing people that invite me to great events, party, or hang out with them on their yacht, on their boat, whatever. This is why I say it is very important to take risks. This is why I say it's very important to get to know yourself. Because the more and more you limit, rewrite, execute that broker mind that is there trying to make you not see the magic within you, not see the creativity within you, you're not going to have experiences. And also, yes, sometimes we have bad experiences. You guys know mine. I've been put out on the street twice in my existence. Once at 20 years old with my younger sisters. Then at 30, 39, 2019 by my ex. I have a daughter I have no contact with. And yet still, look at me. Even the fact too that when I was trying to leave my ex, looking for an apartment so my daughter and I can have a place, she would have two homes, the things that he was doing to me, threatening my life in so many ways, locking me out of the apartment, there's something I want to share after. Writing fake court letters threatening me in multiple ways, that I had two of the neighbors that my daughter was friends with. They helped me, make sure the letters were fake. Then eventually I found a lawyer to help me. I remember one day I was going to work and one of the neighbors, which this particular neighbor had to house me 2 nights in a row because my daughter wasn't there. She had to school outing and I didn't feel safe. I really didn't. I was going to work and she was outside with the kids and she's like, hi, good morning, good morning. I was like, yeah, cool, good morning. And then she goes, Julia, you look beautiful. I'm like, well, thank you. And then she goes, you do not look like what you're going through. And again, I just gave you guys a taste of what I was going through. A taste. It was really a year and a half of that my daughter and all was, unfortunately, she had to witness many of these things. She saw what they were doing to me. She's like, you don't look like what you're going through. And I looked at her and I'm like, why and what should I look like? This is not my problem. He can handle the fact that finally I don't want this relationship, because finally I'm saying I tried to leave before. I have a child. I was not gonna let my daughter be segregated to this kind of bull crap that he is. And can't accept that. Not my problem. So, and the fact that what he's doing is still not going to hold me back from enjoying who I am, loving myself. Because again, I know myself. I know what I attract. I wanted an apartment. If I show up constantly as the magic person I am, the love that I am, the person that knows I have an apartment, the universe will provide it for me. But again, at the same time too, when certain things go a certain way, you have to understand it's something that you don't know what's going on, that the universe is protecting you from. So I'm going to add extra. My daughter tried to tell me what they wanted to do to me. And the reason I said tried, she was 10 years old when this happened. And again, this was actually my third time trying to leave him, and this was the time I said, no, I have to find a way out. I'm making a way out. I deliberately made every interaction with my daughter be the same, regardless to what was going on in our life now. She was seeing her father locking me out of the apartment. She had to let me in. He was restricting me from using the apartment, restricting me from using the refrigerator, restricting me from using the bathroom. Him and his mother and his aunt was threatening my life, wanting me to pay money, even threatening the fact that they will take my kid away from me. She doesn't know half of these things. But again, what she heard, I didn't want her to think that she has to protect me. She's a child. Okay? First and foremost, she's a child. Secondly, our relationship, what we had was always amazing, tight. She could tell me anything. She wouldn't dare tell her dad. You know what I mean? So I didn't want her to shift that, regardless to what was going on. So I made it very clear, I don't want to know what's going on. The universe is going to show me, tell me in the right ways. I made our interaction, our relationship still be what it is. Mother, daughter, loving, caring. And I'm sorry that she has to be witnessing these things or what's going on with her dad and them for me finally leaving the relationship. But it is what it is. So one of the stories I wanted to add to you guys, Phare, which is a vacation season shortly before Christmas vacation in Germany, Munich. He planned to go on a vacation with my daughter and him. So it's 1 week. I was happy. I was looking forward to having some space. Why I didn't add, we got a dog for my daughter the year before, shortly middle, so almost middle of the year, and then I realized I'm allergic. So instead of getting rid of the dog, he made an issue, but he was using the dog too to add to my sickness. So anyways, they were going on vacation. Cool. The day came, they left. I was looking forward to coming home from work and having a warm, nice shower. Because it's Phare, it's, you know, cold now, getting cold. I come home, open the door, turn on the light switch, nothing. Next light switch, nothing. Go to the kitchen, open the refrigerator door, nothing. I'm like, what? So I went to my other neighbors to see maybe, you know, what's going on. They had electricity, everything was fine. Apparently, I had to then go open the fuse box for our apartment. He turned everything off and took all of the switches out. I had to call the landlord. They came and now they were extra pissed off because they already had to, you know, now people knew certain things. And he was kind of doing other things on the side, as I said. So now the landlord is there with the fuse box, like he can't do anything to help me. So no electricity tonight. So he said tomorrow he will come back, he will get everything organized and he'll fix it. And I'm like, okay, cool. Something says, my intuition, we had a fireplace. So I put all the logs in there, I light a fire, and I love myself. I love being romantic. I've always been like this. I always have candles. So I got my candles, fireplace on. I put candles in the bathroom, candles in the bedroom where I'm sleeping. And then something says, turn on the switch, turn on the shower to see if there's heat. I turned on the shower. Guess what? Heat comes out. Hot water. Why I'm saying this, because we had to push this switch. The way that they build their apartment, every so often push a switch to make sure that the pump for the heating is you know, working. I didn't know if, you know, I couldn't remember if I did it before, the night before or whatnot. Again, I was in a space where I was really showing up for myself as much as possible, but I was losing sleep because he was threatening my life a lot. He tampered with the bedroom door I was sleeping in, so I couldn't lock it. And so I wasn't sleeping properly. But anyways, I turned on the shower, hot water. I got naked so quickly. I adjusted the water temperature and I was in the shower, and I'm in the shower like, mon ami, I've got water. I'm dancing and singing. I've got hot water. I am happy. Like that. I'm just singing. I'm happy that I have hot water to take a shower. Yes, and this is what I mean. The simplest things is what is happiness. What you see for yourself, what you're envisioning for yourself, how you love yourself. And so I'm showering hot water with candle, under candlelight. I've got the fireplace on. What more do you want? So I went to bed, and he took out the radiator from the bedroom I was sleeping in. So I packed the fireplace with so much wood that night. And when I went to bed, I had like a few layers on and I slept amazing, right? Hot water and happiness. And in my case, hot water, candles, a fireplace. How romantic is that? And your own company? I mean, dudes, look at me. So when my neighbor said that to me, it again placed me into that understanding that every single one of you have the capability of making your own self happy, but we confuse it by thinking we have to get it from outside of ourselves, or materialistic things are what is going to add to our happiness, our peace. No, you create that, you build that. You are the maker, you are the builder, you are the empowerer. You hold that. And honestly and truly, this is one of the reasons too why I always knew I was going to leave him. I saw the red flags at the beginning and I made it very clear from then I was going to leave him. It just took me some time. Secondly, he also said too he was jealous of me. You don't want a partner that's jealous of you. Why I'm going to say this? My father, I'm the oldest of 5 siblings. I helped my mom. I learned to cook early. I helped my mom with my baby sisters and brothers, changing diapers, etc. And so when I moved to America, my dad and his wife, they were no good. His wife was hiding food from us. It was catastrophe. I ended up getting a job very early. My second sister too as well, and we took care of each other. And I was the only one that's cooking, so I was cooking, making sure, going shopping for our food. He would drive us. We bought our own food, we bought our own clothes, and then eventually he was like, we gotta go. So I said, okay, cool. Well, we were, when he told us we need to leave, we need to move out, I was 19 19 9 no 19 18 12 or something like that, the youngest one was. And I said to him, fine, no problem. Can you co-sign for us, like if something happens, the landlord knows to look to you, but we wouldn't need that. And why it is, I knew that we already had friends who live on their own. We asked a lot of questions, I do. And he said no. So I said, okay, but then he says no, and then he says, but he wants a copy of our key to our apartment. I looked at him and I said, no. Hell no. Why are you're not even offering to help us in any way, but just co-signing? We wouldn't need you to pay for anything, but you want a copy of our key to our apartment? Right there I said, no, put my foot down. And that's why this is one of the things too, I really and truly understand why people do not like me. You see, the fact that I could just say straightforward no to him as my father, the same I do to anybody. I'm not afraid to speak my mind. I'm living here and now, guys, not tomorrow. If I don't want something, I don't like something, or I know what I want, I'm going to say it right then and there. So you know where I stand, what I'm looking for. No games, no crap. That's how I function. And so I told him no. So, but it took us some time still. And eventually, I don't know what happened. We came home one day and everything was out of the apartment. So that's my story. And my second sister was my bully from since I was young. That girl don't like me at all. She and I have no relations for years now. My dad has, I only had to ask him for his help in 2019. I was in a women's home after I was put out on the street. I did go to America for 3 months, less than. I was still trying to have my daughter in my life. So I ended up coming back to Munich to still continue to have my daughter in my life, because when I was in America and I would call, weeks, days, she's not picking up. So I knew he was still trying to play games, my ex. So anyways, guys, um, I am not talking of things that I don't know and understand. And some things I may not have personally gone through it, but people have talked to me about so many things for, of, and within themselves, where they're struggling, where they want to show up for themselves, where who is, bullying them, manipulating them, etc., etc. And I have always been the advocator to push them into showing up for themselves, push them into trying to not limit their selves by someone else's fear, jealousy, lack, insecurities, or even within themselves, the fear within themselves of, not believing in themselves. Again, every one of you can. You just got to get clear on why and what and take actions. And sometimes, too, what I always say, do not think you need to jump the whole broom, as in do a full 20-step action. Small, simple, investigate. First action right there. Get information. Get information on that thing, that position, that new location, whatever. Information, that's all. That's the first thing. That's all. That's all you need to do as the first thing. Nothing more than that. But if you already have that already within you and you know what's the other steps, you just go 1, 2, 3, 4, done with that. If you know you have to save some money, make a plan of action, what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, how much you're going to save. But as soon as you save, do the thing. Stop putting things off for tomorrow, a week from today, etc. Unless your intuition is telling you have to do it in that way. But again, to what I love about the universe, once it knows that you are aligned and you understand and you're accepting, it moves things quicker. So even if it says, okay, save some money, and next year it's going to happen, the universe might move things quicker than you think. It just wants you to accept. It wants you to start showing up. It wants you to start taking action. It wants you to believe in yourself and trust. That's all that it wants. So I have been here a full hour. Thank you so much for listening. And again, I hope that this can help someone. My only reasons for doing these lives now again or continuing on, I started this last year and stopped because of my health. It's so that I can make one person switch their perspective, see themselves, see that the things that they think is holding them back, or fear or lack or whatever, see it as a window as to why and how to use it to shift them into becoming that person that they are. Sometimes those parts of us are needed for the environment and the situations that we're in. Again, we have been protecting ourselves in ways that we don't even know. But when you see it, when it's coming up, it's because it's asking you to let go, because it's time for you to move forward. We're never stagnant. We are never stagnant. We are only stagnant when we choose to not let go of those old patterns, to not let go of those limiting beliefs, to not let go of those people that we think love us or want us to be happy but aren't truly doing that, or aren't giving us that truly. So there is, again, some more information about myself. I know that I come on very late. For me, it's not late, it's really early, but I will let the universe help me to see how I can switch this time up to an earlier time so that it will work out better for all of us. But again, I'm simply starting to show back up with this. My voice is getting good because I'm doing things to help it. but my health is something that I'm still working on. Having a community, growing here on social media, building my digital world is part of that reason, so that I can get professional help with my health situation. I've already looked into it. Again, that's me. Since this year started, I told the universe, I started this last year, you know what I want, and I want help, because I'm doing everything, I'm showing up, and it's still not in the space that I want it to be. So if I need help, or if I'm supposed to get extra help, please provide it. So I already called the places. I know how much it costs and everything. So I'm just working towards that, to make that happen. But so far, I have to say that I'm very grateful and thankful, because I always knew that I was doing the right things with my health, but I didn't know the wrong things I was doing, what it was. And so now I have a full idea and understanding of that. And so now I'm able to rectify that and show up in a better version of myself. And that is the key. So sometimes you think when things are really and truly going against you, it's not. You just got to be an observer to ask the questions as to why this is occurring, why this has happened, because it's trying to help you come home to self, to learn self, to love self, so that you can keep moving forward in your path, aligning with your higher self. And that is definitely me, in all ways, always, always. So I'm very grateful. I do enjoy what I'm doing. I really do. My inner child and I have fully connected again. And yeah, we'll see. So building my community here on social media, on my YouTube channel, my TikTok, and other accounts is really what's helping me to keep moving forward and to keep growing. And I'm still doing my best with my digital products, which one of them I'm finishing up. I will find a way to post it, but again, that is something I would like to, I am offering as to be bought, you know. Yes, everyone loves themselves, of course, everyone does, but there's a level of love that some of us are misunderstanding how to show up, because we think that we show up in that aspect which other people say, or you're full of yourself, and etc., etc. But again, that is simply because when you do that, you're not allowing them to come in and manipulate, gaslight you, place fear, lack, or control into you from them. So that's why they use those words, those negative words, to try to put you down and make you think you're doing too much. That's what they do. So if you can see it in that aspect, then you're great. You're loving yourself. You're doing what is right for you. Yeah. So guys, this is gonna take some time to upload. But it's actually really nice that I'm able to do this again. I want to try to come on one other time to just chit chat with you guys, so you guys get to know me some more. Again, you got to know more being here of my story, which I have already posted it everywhere. And the only reason I posted it, I didn't want to because I don't want people to have pity or think that I'm doing this for some reason of sorts. And this was only my conversation with the universe. Why I made sure and talked to the universe in this context, simply because my whole life the universe has been sending people to me, letting them talk to me about their pains, their sorrows, their visions, their dreams, etc. And so I wanted to have that extension here. But I do understand that we have this misconception that a pretty woman, you know, and what social media has also built itself around, that may not have value, or if someone shares their story, you're looking for some followers, you're looking for pity, and etc., etc. That's not the case. Every single one of us has a story. It's just some of us may have some extreme stories. And the reasons why I say that too, the universe is not doing this to you. The universe is doing this for you, for you to keep seeing your strength, your power, your courage. And this is something I knew of myself. Again, I have seen time